I had all the fat guy stuff going on, high blood pressure, hypoglycemic, knee surgery, chest pains, eczema. I mean, massive depression. I was angry. I was just a mess. And
Wow.
And then having the pneumonia, and I'm like, I'm gonna check out.
Hi, I'm Chris James, and you're watching Healthy Alternative. Today, we have a special guest. I've been wanting to interview you for a while now, ever since I saw your first post, I believe it was last year. But we have James with us today. So we've got two Jameses in the building today. We're going to be talking about his wellness journey, what he experienced, how much weight did he lose, all the ins and outs. So strap in, it's going to be fun, and that's coming up next. You are one of the first people that we're bringing on since we've kind of revamped our process. I'm sure you've seen our interviews in the past. They're some of the most watched content. They're so motivational for people. And I wanted to put together a process to kind of do this and do it more frequently. So for those who are watching, if you've always been like, man, I wish I could get on Chris's platform, listen, if you have an experience that you want to share, whether it's, you fasted for 40 days or whether you reversed diabetes or you lost 100 pounds or whatever, we are definitely interested. I'm going to leave an email in the comment section for those. If you're interested, you can email us if you've got a story you want to share. But today we're going to be talking to James, and I'm excited. So James, when I got your form, you just very bluntly said, I lost 100 pounds. All right. So
Short and sweet.
what was your starting weight? And did you go into this process? Was the goal to lose weight, or did you have some other things you wanted to accomplish?
I was 51 years old, right? I had all the fat guy stuff going on, high blood pressure, hypoglycemic, knee surgery, chest pains, eczema. I mean, massive depression. I was angry. I was just a mess. And
Wow.
so for about 3 months, I was in bed. I own a recording studio. I'm a voice coach, a record producer, and my assistant was trying to keep it together. I was in bed teaching on Skype to try to keep making dough. I got I'm married. I'm still married. I was married, and I had 2 little kids. They were like, I don't know, 3 and 5. So I was like, I had these 2 little dudes and a wife and a dog and this business. And I thought I was about to check out. It was weird, man. And the doctors just said, I don't know what to tell you, man. You should lose weight. Like, that was it. And I'll never forget it. So I'm laying in bed and I'm watching all these shows about losing weight. And I buy on iTunes, because I'm on my laptop, I'm in bed. This is the end of July 2015, and I'm so sick, coughing and wheezing and, you name it. And I got the movie Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, and I started watching it like around the clock. And August 1st, my wife manages Trader Joe's, so we bought a masticating juicer.
Mm-hmm.
And August 1st, 2015, I weighed in. That was that before picture, 275. And I started juicing. And after about a week or 2, I felt better. It was weird. Like, I looked younger. I felt better. I lost like 20 pounds, 10 pounds, like right away.
Wow.
And I was out of bed. It was like a miracle. I was like, oh, this is awesome. Right? Like,
Yeah.
And that started it. And it took me almost 22 months to lose the 100 pounds. So I went from 275 to 175. And I was, at that point I was 53 years old. So I did this in my 50s. And I did it with a lot of I was sick. I was very sick. I'd had knee surgery. I had a heel spur. I mean, I was a hot mess, as they say. And I just got serious, and I really dedicated my whole life to this journey. And I'm still the same way. That's how I know about you, because this is like my world, right? I've got to stay on point. I mean, how it really started to come. I lived in LA for about 25 years, And the last 5 or 6 years, I was a voice coach on American Idol, and I started gaining weight. And getting fat when you're on TV is a drag. It's a drag, man. It's like there's nothing gentle about getting fat on TV. And it was just, I don't know, man. It was just brutal, man. I remember one time the guy that was like my hairdresser, I don't know what happened. I don't even know. He said, listen, man, I saw the dailies from today. You look terrible. Don't tell anybody I do your hair. I was like, and he was like my friend. My friend. It was like, oh my God. I'd never forget it, man.
Interestingly enough, I gauge my own weight because, like a lot of people don't know, I've lost 90 pounds, but I gauge my own weight with my pants. I have 2 sets of pants. I have my fasting pants. So when I'm actively fasting, my weight goes down. I go hard. I'm a very trim guy. And then I've got my normal pants, after I'm finished fasting, you gain a little weight back. When my normal pants start getting a little tight, I go back to fasting. Right. I just use that as a gauge. Yeah. I will not go to jogging pants or, the kind of the lounge wear, which allows you to kind of expand because it's built that way. And I just use it as a gauge. And
that's the thing. I mean, fasting is like foolproof. It's always going to work. It's always going to work, man.
It's always going to work.
And once you go through it, if people are watching this and they've never really done it before, the first couple of days is weird. You know what I mean? It's a little weird, especially if you're a foodie and you like eating and your whole identity is food, and you're a housewife and you got your kids so I'll tell you too, I had every excuse to not pull this off. I was in my 50s. I was morbidly obese. I was very sick. I'd had knee surgery. I was married and I had a couple of kids. My house was not safe. It was cheddar rockets everywhere and fucking gum, whatever, junk everywhere. Kid food, macaroni and cheese, and and in spite of all of that, I did it. In spite of all of that. So if you're out there, just know that your excuses are not valid. They're not valid. And I'm not being mean. I'm just saying, because this is sometimes the best thing you can do to help somebody and show the most love is to be honest. And if you're a housewife and you're 40 years old and you got 3 kids and you got your weight from having your baby and, this and that, and I got to make dinner and my husband comes home and I got to do that, sell that somewhere else. Just sell that somewhere else, man. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And so what? You know what I mean? Like, because the bottom line is obesity kills us. And, at the end, you don't want to look back and go, man, I wish I just had just done it and stop with the excuses. Cause I mean, my weight loss was on, it was a lot of, because of my job, it was on a lot of internet stuff. A lot of people watched me lose weight. So I've had people call me all the time for years to help them. And man, you want to hear a rash of excuses. Talk to somebody that's fat. Talk to somebody that's fat, and you will hear excuses you didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
You will hear right? You'll hear all the excuses. So I think that for me, the fear of dying, I mean, I thought I was dying. I'll be totally honest with you. Yeah. The chest pains and the dizziness from the hypoglycemia, the blood pressure, and then having the pneumonia. And I'm like, I'm going to check out. And you know what made me change? The end of July, I had this moment of clarity. I'm laying in bed, almost 300 pounds. I got 2 kids. I got a wife. And I had this moment of clarity, and I imagined some dude in my bed with my wife telling my kids what to do. And I was like, I'm not down with this, man. This is a terrible idea, and I'm bringing it on myself, right? This is self-induced hell. Like, nobody did this to me. There's no excuse. And I just had to take full responsibility for my actions, and of all the things in this world that we can control, we can't control a whole bunch of stuff. You set up this podcast, you were hoping I was going to be on the line. You couldn't, one of the only things we can actually control is what we put in our mouth. That we can control. So
Yeah.
I realized that it was on me. It wasn't my dad's fault. It wasn't society's fault. It wasn't the government's fault. It wasn't Los Angeles. It wasn't American Idol. It wasn't all the people that hurt my feelings. It wasn't their fault. It was my responsibility to take charge of this thing and figure out what was the game plan. And fasting's amazing. The other thing that happens with fasting is like, your mind starts working, man. Like, food is a drug, man. And it gets us like spaced out. I mean, think about it, give me a big bowl of pasta and a bag of potato chips. And you know what I want to do? I want to sit on the couch and watch Netflix. That's what I want to do because I've checked out. I'm not, I'm not in the game anymore. And not that relaxing isn't important, but, I mean, if you're overweight, just know that I did it. 51 years old, sick. The doctors told me I was dying. 51 with kids, the whole deal, every imaginable. I had every excuse, and I just wouldn't accept defeat.
Obviously, what you're doing is working, and this is like a really clear indicator that you're on the right path. You look good.
The thing to do with this is I have almost no loose skin. And I was huge. I had a 51-inch waist. I mean, wow. I was, at one point, somebody did my measurements. I was chest, waist, hips. It was 50, 50, 50. And I told my kids, I realized that I'm SpongeBob. I was a cylinder,
you were
and not
like
a skinny one. I was SpongeBob.
Jeez.
But I lost like 16 inches on my waist at 51 years old.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that whole adage of like, calorie restriction, up your, intensity and lose the weight slow. Like that never freaking works. That never works, man. Like that's just like such a bad game plan.
Yeah.
The other thing too, with losing weight super slow is you lose interest. You're like, you start fasting in a couple of weeks, you're like, whoa, okay. What are we gonna do next? Okay, let's, we're gonna cut out, no more cheese, I'm gonna drink more water. Let's start walking in the morning. It gets you like pumped up because you're seeing it. And actually, through the fasting, you'll get you those immediate results, which we need because they're exciting. It's like, oh, hey, there's hope, And if you got a lot of weight to lose, man, fasting gets rid of all the loose skin.
There you go.
That's huge. Your boy talked about not having a lot. Justin.
Yeah.
He talked about not having a lot of skin.
200 pounds he lost.
Yeah, there's another guy, Jim Caldwell, who's lost 190, and he's almost 60. No loose skin. That was one thing that Jason Fung had talked about. That they were doing these experiments. They were realizing that through the fasting is the only thing that eats the enzyme, the protein enzymes under the skin. When it eats that, the skin comes in.
Right.
Calorie restriction and losing weight slowly. If that works for you, man, hats off to you. But that to me is just not a game plan. That is not a game plan. And people that think it is a game plan are probably people that think you should eat 6 small meals a day. Like it's that same paradigm.
Right, yeah.
The same 80s Weider. And you know where that came from? That came from Weider. If you know who Weider is, Joe Weider, the guy, the bodybuilding guy, because he was encouraging you eat 3 meals and do 3 shakes. He was selling the shakes.
Of course.
That's where the 6 meals came from.
Yeah.
3 meals, maybe 3 meals, a snack, and 2 shakes. You know what he was making each shake? $1. So you go out there and get, 500,000 people a day doing 2 shakes and you're getting $1. I mean, come on.
Bruh.
I mean, he's rolling. This is all about being responsible. Like I'll tell you, for me, I realized that my doctor wasn't going to save me. he wasn't going to do
Right.
it, man.
Yeah.
And it wasn't his job.
Yep.
You know, at the end, he just told me that for whatever reason, I had no immune system. He told me to take vitamins. You know, I mean, that's like the advice. Like that would be something my mom would say: take vitamins, right?
Right.
But
Right.
I had no immune system. I was 100 pounds overweight, and my body was breaking down. I was taking all these, you know, steroids and amoxicillin and fluconase and antifungals. I ended up with a yeast. Think about this for a second. I had a yeast infection in my throat. I never even heard of that. But yeah, that was legit, man. So, and I'm a singer.
What a man, that might be a little divine intervention. We're gonna get your attention one way or another.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
You want to get fat and just eat junk food? We got some pain for you.
yeah.
It's inevitable because it's unnatural. And again, you guys out there, you can do this. That's it, man. And it's so worth it. There's this whole other world out there that we don't even know when we're stuck in food and being fat and being angry and blood pressure and sick. Like, we don't even realize it's just a whole other world of, like, not only possibilities, but you can help people. It's the testimony, right?
Yeah.
I'm not on here telling you I did it. I got my life back.
Yeah.
It took me 21 and a half months. I mean, granted, like, compared to Justin, who lost like a lot in like 14 or 18 months, you know, he had probably more to lose than me per average of what he weighed and but also, like, he was younger. So being older, maybe that, but that's my point, is it doesn't matter. Like, whatever it is, like, you can overcome. For every problem, there's a solution. If you just keep your mind on the prize and keep your eye, you know, stay focused, man. Don't, you know, just stay on the beam, man.
I love it.
A lot of us on this beam.
We're pretty much all on this thing, man.
Yeah, man.
I've seen some of the most high profile vegans, fitness people fall off. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Nobody's immune to it. So let your journey be your own journey, right? Everybody's journey is unique. Don't try to compare your journey to someone else's. Just do the right thing more often than you do the wrong. That's it. You know? I appreciate you.
Yeah.
This was amazing. And
can I end with a song? You ready for this?
Please.
Look at it, Chris. You know what I'm saying? Purple rain, purple rain. With that backdrop.
Yeah, we was just talking about Prince. Oh man. I appreciate it. Maybe we could do something again in the future. I would love that.
Anytime, man. You're helping people, and I'm telling you, I some days when it's tough, I watch your different. I'm a YouTube guy, so I'm always on your YouTube, and I'm always watching, and you know, it's like, oh, if these guys can do it, you gotta stick it out, man.
Stick it out.
It's easy, but you just stick it out.
Yeah, and that right there,
worth it.
It's definitely worth it.
It's worth it.
And that's part of the reason why I keep doing what I'm doing, because it's not easy doing like this brand. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And but hearing how helpful the content is and everything, it really helps me. So I appreciate that.
No, you got a good thing. And all right, I got to go to work, man. But listen, I appreciate this. And you guys can reach out to me, jameslugomusic.com. And, you know, I'm here to help in any way, participate in the game.
Absolutely. And he's in the Facebook group as well. So join the Facebook group and shout him out. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button for me. Like, subscribe. And as always, the application of knowledge is power, and we'll see you all next time.